executive sedan segment is really hot, and now I've driven a few cars. In fact, I drove the E-Class and the i5 and I love them both. Having said that, I do have an inkling towards the 5 Series over the years, and when I got another chance to drive one, I couldn't say no. Welcome everybody then to the 2025 BMW 550e. Now, I drove the i5, which is the fully electric version. This is the plug-in hybrid version, and I think that makes it an even better package. Let's see how this luxury executive sedan is. When you come to the design of the new 5 Series, I think it's a great looking car. Yes, people don't like big grills on BMW, but let's be honest, this isn't their biggest grill. So I think it looks very imposing and it's illuminated. So it does add a bit more drama at night. It is brushed aluminum and it is closed, so it doesn't open to let air in because there are some more ducts and vents in the bottom part of the bumper. I think it looks fantastic, and the grill also does contrast really well with this paint. So this is the macadamia metallic. It's a BMW individual paint. It's a $5,000 option, but I think it looks smashing. Especially I have the car clean and the sun is shining on it. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. There are lots of cuts and creases on the bottom part of the bumper, and overall I'd say that it's a very handsome looking car. When you come to the side of the 5 Series, I think it's got lots of cuts and creases. It's a big car, and you can see that over the years the 5 Series has really grown. I think it looks good. Lots of bulges on the shoulder line, on the C-pillar. You do have a 5 emblem to let you know that this is the 5 Series on the C-pillar. You have this beautiful 21-inch wheels as well, which I think also looks spectacular and really enhance the appeal of the car. Overall, I'd say that I really like the way this 5 Series look, and it really stands out on the road. When you come to the rear of the 550e, after adoring the side profile, you'll notice that it's very minimalistic compared to the front. So not as many cuts and creases, but it still has its own quirky elements. So you do have a lip spoiler, which is exclusive to the 550e. You do have some badging. So you have the X-Drive badging, the BMW badging with a blue halo because it is a plug-in hybrid. You do have the big 550e, and one thing you'll notice is that the initial 5 for the 5 Series is a different size and the 50e is a different size. Now that might trigger some people's OCD, but I'm perfectly fine with that. You do have this beautiful sleek LED taillights which look absolutely amazing at night. One thing I'm not a very big fan of is the cutouts on the bottom part of the bumper. So this was fine on the i5 because you know that the i5 wouldn't have any exhaust tailpipes, but since this has a proper B58 motor and a fantastic motor at that, they could have incorporated some good looking tailpipes on the bottom part of the bumper, and that would have really enhanced the appeal. Yes, it is a green plate car as well, so you can drive in the HOV lanes if you really wish to. And if you open the boot, it is an electronically assisted boot, and you get access to a huge boot which can take in a lot of luggage. Now executive sedans are supposed to do this, and they have been doing it over the years, and this 5 Series is no different, which is an absolute smashing job that BMW has done because it's a car that looks good and is practical in the boot. I'm now on the inside of the 550e, and it's a very traditional BMW cabin, and I think that's not a bad thing. I'm getting really used to the big screens, and I think they're very easy to use. Having used big screens in other brands, I think BMW has integrated it really well. So you do have the AC controls on the screen, and you can just play around in the touch response, and everything is just fantastic of this iDrive 8.5. You do have this beautiful glass on the center console which is colored, and it changes color depending on what drive mode you're using, and even the transition of the coloring is so beautiful, and it just uplifts the whole ambience of the car. This does have a gloss wood finish on the dash, gloss black on the center console. I think just little touches like this really uplift the whole ambience of the car. You do have wireless chargers on the center console, 2 cup holders. You do have the traditional BMW control, so the roller for the volume, the rotary control just in case you don't want to use the touchscreen, the gear selector. You do have a center cubby as well if you want to put some more stuff. You do have this new 3-spoke steering, which initially I was not a fan of, but I like it now. And my only grouse is that I think the thickness is a bit too much, but again, once you can get used to it once you're driving to it. You do have paddle shifters, which are actually paddle shifter, not the regen control like it is on the i5, and you do have a 10-second overboost control as well, which I like a lot. But yeah, overall it's very nice, very familiar, and you'll feel right at home. I have to shout out that this car has the optional Bowers and Wilkins audio system, which I think is a big win. Like, I'm sure it's very expensive, but it's an option that's really nice and really uplifts the whole driving experience, because you can just enjoy those same songs you listen in other cars. It's just gonna sound much better in this car. Overall, what can I say? I really enjoyed it. The seats are very nice, and I have to compliment the interior color as well. This white interior looks very good, but I'm sure it will be a big pain to maintain, especially if you have kids or family members who like to eat in the car. This is not the interior shade, but if you can keep it clean, I think it looks really good, and I think it really complements the external paint shade as well. Overall, I absolutely love it. You do have a glass roof as well. It's a moon roof, not a sunroof, so the glass does not open, but it is a panoramic glass. I wish it opened because the weather is getting really nice now, but not a deal breaker for me. Overall, I've enjoyed spending my time in the driving seat of this car. I'm now in the rear seat of the 550. As you can see, space is really not an issue. This driving seat is adjusted for my driving position. This passenger seat is actually a bit more far behind, but I know for a fact that I can fit in there as well. A lot of space to tuck in my feet, and headroom is also not an issue. Windows are pretty big as well. You have manual blinds as well, which I think is a great feature. One thing lacking, I'd say, is that the under thigh support could have been a bit better. I feel like my knees are a bit on the higher side, pointing upwards. Backrest incline angle is really good. The cushioning is really good, so it's very soft, very plush. But yeah, the under thigh support could have been better. No AC controls in the back, so you only have vents, two type C ports, and heated seats for the rear two passengers. The middle passenger would be welcome. The transmission hump is a bit prominent, but there is a headrest and it's not too bad. You do have a center armrest as well with two cup holders. But yeah, overall it's actually not that bad. I wish there was a 4-zone AC control, especially at this price point, but I think it's a thing I've noticed now. Even the E-Class did not have it, so maybe it's an optional pack that you can spec the car with, but not having it from factory is a bit of a bummer. You do have the beautiful cutouts for the Bauer-Wilkins system on the door. I think that looks fantastic. It's a work of art. I've already spoken about it, how good it sounds. You do have a type C port and a mount on the seats, so this is for mounting stuff like your iPad or anything you want to mount on the seat for the rear passenger, especially if you have kids. I think it's a useful feature, and you have it on both seats, so you get a specific mount for your tablet which you can actually put on here. But yeah, overall I would say the rear seat is actually not that bad, and one that I don't mind sitting in for longer journeys. You also have electronic rear control blinds which you can control from the front, which I think is a very nifty feature. But yeah, overall, as I said, can't fault it. I really like it in the back here. I'm now behind the wheel of the 550e, so let's get the numbers out of the way. This has a 3-liter twin-turbo inline-six. The famed B58 motor produces about 390 horsepower. This also has a 14.4 kilowatts battery, which then adds a bit more horsepower, so a combined horsepower output of about 483 horsepower, which I think is immense, and I think the best powertrain under an M5. So let's see how it drives. Actually, let's launch it. So I have the car in drive. If I put it into S, and then if I engage sport through the screen, yep, left foot on the brake, right foot on the throttle. Oh, puts the power down so well, and this will do 0 to 100 in about 4.1 seconds, which is immense. It's super fast and more than what you need in day-to-day basis. In fact, this would happily keep up with something like an M2 or an M3, which I think is extremely commendable on how BMW has somehow managed to tune the powertrain to be so fast. Speaking of the powertrain, it blends between the battery and the gas engine very easily, very seamlessly. So half the time you don't even know. So if I put it into efficient, and it prefers to choose the electric motor, and it just transitioned onto the batteries, and you really don't feel it until you hear the engine. You really cannot feel the transition, and it's so calm, so refined, like a 5 Series should be. Very stately, very elegant, and you can just cruise effortlessly on the roads. I'm driving on some B roads, and you cannot hear anything. You can hear a bit of the tire noise, but that's about it. The insulation is top notch, and the whole experience behind the wheel is just fantastic. Like, I don't know how BMW has nailed it, but it just feels so relaxed. And for something that can just do 0 to 100 in 4 seconds, to have this dual personality of just relaxed driving, I think it's an absolutely commendable job. And if you do floor it, like just now the gas engine kicked in, but you don't feel that transition. It's so seamless. Like the tech work under the skin is actually really good, and it feels really good. When you do brake, it does have regen, so it puts back some charge into the battery and your range will go up if you brake a lot. I'm coming up to some corners, and if I put it back into sport, there you go, and oh, yep, that bump was a bit crashy, but it is in the stiffest suspension, but you can feel the weight, but the car turns in so nicely. Steering is a bit vague, but that is the case with all new BMWs, but your corner speeds, entry and exit speeds is unreal. It's so fun, and this thing corners like it's a much smaller car. When you're pushing it in the corners, you don't feel the size. When you brake, yes, you feel the weight. It is above 2 tons, but when you're actually pushing in the corners, fantastic. And the beautiful part is, again, if I put it back into efficient, if I'm cruising on the highway, you can get 6.5 liters on gas. If you have EV, my current fuel economy that's showing on the screen is 5.7, because I have been driving the range on the EV, and on a full charge of EV you will get about 60 to 65 kilometers of only EV range, which is more than sufficient for most of your daily commute. You can come back at home and plug it in and use it on EV the next day. What can I say? Fantastic job by BMW, and it's actually a great package. It's literally, as I say in many videos, a one car solution if you really want it. In conclusion then, the 2025 BMW 550e, honestly, I've lived with this vehicle over a week and I've absolutely loved it. I think it looks really good. The spec is actually fantastic. So kudos to the BMW PR team for absolutely nailing another press car spec. The brown with the white interior, I think looks fabulous, and it's got a lot of heads to turn, and people have actually complimented me on the road on how good this spec is. Coming to the price, and just like every BMW, I have to pull out a phone because there's so much information to cover. So the base 550e is 84,200. This has the premium enhanced package. It's got the sunshades, the heated seats, the travel and comfort system, the premium essential package contents. So because of this, you also get the this advanced driver 2000, have the $5,000, the wheels $1,000, the gloss wood inside is a $250 option. That's probably the cheapest option in the whole car. The comfort seats with the lumbar support is $1,000, and the illuminated kidney grille is $500. I actually didn't know that was an option until now. So the combined option aspect, this car is 102,250. Now definitely money for a 5 series. 100 grand is, it used to be 7 series money some time back, but 100 grand for a 5 series and it doesn't have an M is definitely controversial. But having said that, now that the new M5 is like over $150,000, and this is probably the closest you'll get to getting to an M5, because the M5 being a plug-in hybrid as well, I think it's great value, because this car can literally do it all. You can definitely get a cheaper version. If you don't opt for this paint, you can cut down on some more options and you'll easily have a car within the 92,000 mark, which I think is great value for a car that looks good, drives well, is practical, and something that can do 0 to 100 in roughly 4 seconds and can do 60 kilometers of only EV range, and you can have an absolute blast on your favorite B road. Amazing job by BMW, and I've had so much fun driving this vehicle of the week. I wish I can keep it permanently.